There are so many advantages Georgia has over every school in the country. Overwhelming advantages. In fact, look at the surge in revenue rankings. EA Sports has them at number one offense. They average 40 points a game with a record-setting defense. They recruit like no one else. Facilities are top-notch. Everything designed for efficiency. From layout of training room to the dining halls and so forth. Well, what's not to like? One thing. But it's a big one. Kirby took a school that always had advantages but couldn't close the deal. They came close most of the time. Kirby is a closer. He clenches the knot securely and moves to the next one. But Kirby has allowed one loose end to go unattended, one detail overlooked. Oh, it didn't hurt, just one thing. We'll be fine. It's actually a huge deal when you drop your standards, and Georgia has dropped their standards. Not only Georgia, but Kirby has also. Well, where? Well, first of all, he hasn't adequately replaced Todd Monken. Monken was the final piece that set Georgia apart, to the point that nobody could match them. But he didn't replace that. He settled for the easy choice, the convenient answer. Take a look at the Kirby teams that did not have a dependable, explosive offense. In 2017, Kirby had two generational running backs that hid the inefficient offense of Jim Chaney, and that cost them a title. Otherwise, 2017 was a championship team. They were a fun team, an exciting team, but not a champion. 2018, this offense got worse, and it cost Kirby another ring. 2019, the offense this time was actually bad. Not even a competent offense, and that cost them games and a title. 2020, they were pretending to fix it, but it wasn't a real fix, and they went nowhere. Now, Kirby, to his credit, actually decided to achieve a modern offense. He had a great offensive mind. He hired him, Todd Monken, and he let him run the offense. And the result, 2 straight rings, and a dramatic change in the perception of this program. Now, they were the favorites, and they backed it up. 2023 was the letdown season. No titles, just a bunch of so-so regular season wins. 2023, Georgia lost its swagger. On paper, a good offense, but the numbers merely masked a return to the plodding, uncreative approach to offense. Kirby probably liked one stat more than any last season. What stat was that? Well, they were number 2 in the time of possession, tied with Air Force. Well, that's really achieving something. Number 2 in the country in time of possession. A lot of coaches would take that. Kirby likes time of possession because it eats clock and preserves his defense. And the price paid for this stat are enormous. Only 10% of Georgia's plays in 2023 were considered explosive plays. Now, without explosive plays, you don't actually score 40 points a game, you just average that. and your offense becomes predictable, and you don't beat good teams. 2024 is full of good teams on the schedule. But Kirby lowered the bar on offense. Despite having a Heisman quarterback this year, that quarterback won't win the Heisman. And despite having all the talent around him in the world, they're using a 50-year-old scheme, and it won't win in 2024. Eventually, those Heisman quarterbacks will go elsewhere, and so will the receivers. And so will the image of Georgia as a championship program. You keep this up, and 21 and 22 will just be the new 1980. Nobody figured Vince Dooley was actually completely done by 1983, because then they were still riding on the fumes of 1980, and those fumes faded into oblivion. Georgia would hire 3 coaches and fire them before they ever won another title. They went 19 years without an SEC. When you stop being a champ, you stop getting the rings. And let's face it, folks, that's what made the difference. Kirby had not done anything until he won that title, and then won to back it up. And what he's putting on the field since then, since he lost the catalyst, Todd Monken, he's not replaced that. And Kirby, I am afraid, is thinking he's going to get away with it. But the SEC National Championship playoffs, they'll probably teach him a lesson. It'll be a hard one for us to learn. But the reason that Kirby can do no wrong is because he put a ring on a finger and he did it again. And he should have done it last year. And so he should do it this year. But it's not going to happen.